talking about the number 7. And yeah, I believe that I'm talking mostly about myself today because as I was explaining at the beginning of the call for all those that weren't here, my birth name is Mark, M-A-R-K. And Mark adds up to 16. 1 plus 6 equals 7. So 7 is my first step. It's my natural inclination. Plus, I have 2 7s back to back in my last name, the P and the Y. So I have an over intensification or an abundance of 7s in my name, just in my name makeup. And then if we look at my name, Pyphreus, Pyphreus added up all the way across is 61. So I just flipped the 1 and the 6, and 6 plus 1 equals 7. And to go even deeper, Pyphreus B Metatron, if you add it all the way across, it equals 97. And 9 plus 7 equals 16 again, and 1 plus 6 equals 7. So forgive me if I feel like I'm just talking about me. I'm talking about every 7 on the planet. And if you have 7 in the first, middle, last name, or if it's your soul's journey, your soul's urge, or your soul's energy or birth force, or if you have it on any of the planes of expression, this is definitely talking to you as well. So let's just jump into it. We're still in the introduction into Mastered Self Numerology. Today we're dealing with the number 7. It deals with the corresponding letters G, P, and Y. Like I said, those of us with those 7s in those prominent places, we are the kings and queens. Y'all might want to write this down. You guys might want to write this down. We are the kings and queens of not giving a fuck.
Oh, I'm not gonna write that down. I went to get a pencil. I said, I don't know, and I'm
Yeah, we are the kings and queens of not giving a fuck. And giving 0 fucks, who all of that, whoever come up with them shirts was a 7. Giving zero fucks given, not giving, I got no fucks to give. Yeah, that was a 7. And I'm gonna tell you guys that fuck is the 7's favorite word. And the 7 don't think it's a curse word. They just think it's normal vernacular. You know, drop an F-bomb. I even when I was preaching in the Baptist church, I told folks to cuss somebody out, and especially drop an F-bomb once a week. It's therapeutic. It really is. Onto the watchword for the 7s. The 7s are the seekers of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I like that better than understanding. I don't want to stand under nothing. I want to understand it. I want to understand it on the inside. So the 7, the watchwords for the 7 is knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Let's get into some of the keywords. 7s are investigators. It's not odd that I like TV shows that deal with investigations. My bad. I left out who the 7 was on the cookout. Thank you for letting me reminding me of that. Okay, so the 1 says let's have a cookout. The 2 gathers up everything. 3 goes in the kitchen and starts making beautiful art out of it. The 4 has the table chairs and plates and all that. The 5 brings the party favor and their appetite. The 6 is getting ready to serve, and the 7 shows up to make sure that shit starts on time, ends on time, and nobody steals nothing. Yeah, the 7 is the law, is the police of the numbers. The 7 makes sure that everybody get their right portion. You don't get more and you don't get less. And the 7 is observing everybody. 7 can't even enjoy the cookout because it's watching everybody and everything.
So they're like the bouncers?
They're the bouncers. They are the bouncers, and they are the security of the bunch. Yes, they are the 7. So investigation, research, calculation, and calculation is two-edged. It's double-edged for the 7. Yes, the 7 possesses a mind that can handle complex calculations just like that. Just like I can add up combinations of numbers. It's sickening. I can have pour a bunch of coins in my hand, and I hold it out in front of me, and just by the weight, I can tell you how much it is within about 30 cents, up or down. That part of calculation. However, they are also calculating their every move. The 7 don't make a move without it being plotted out, planned out, and calculated. There ain't no missteps. Ain't no, oh, I just happened to step in a pile of shit. No, if the 7 step in shit, they meant to, because they're calculating it. They're very methodical, very precise, very technical. They have a gift of analysis. They can analyze, survey the scene, analyze the situation. I mean, they walk right in and they pretty much got to read on the whole situation. They have real strong powers of analysis. I mentioned observation. 7s are the specialists in the deck, in the bunch of numbers. They normally do very specialized shit that only they can do. They are good at creating some shit that only they can do. They are the specialists, and they become the technician. Victorious, you want to add to that?
I'm sitting here just thinking, because like everything I do, I actually put in some kind of chart or form to help me calculate it and make sense out of it.
Absolutely.
I also wanted to say something else too, because you mentioned the word analyze, and I just wanted to point out the word anal.
Yes.
And the word analyze. Yes.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Sorry.
Very anal retentive. Yeah. You look up anal retentive in the dictionary, and probably have my picture right there. Probably just have my face sitting right there. The 7 is very technical. They, have technician capabilities in whatever it is that they lend their mind to, and they lend their search for the knowledge and wisdom. They become very, very technical, and whatever they study and whatever they get into, they become the expert at that shit real fast. They're scientific, and a lot of their life, they live their life through a scientific method of one way or another, either diet, health regimen, spiritual sciences. Some sort of science is very, very prominent in the 7's life. They have a gift of invention. However, they normally pass it on to somebody else, and they'll come up with the technical ins and outs of it. But as far as the end game and end result, yeah, they have we draw stick people. We can't draw, we drawing lines. Yeah, we can't draw circles and all that. No, but the birth of the invention and the birth of the idea is a gift of the 7. They have the gift of discovery. I believe it's because of all them 7s and that 7 energy in my name. I've never really been afraid of anything, never. So, the gift of discovery, I just always did what I thought I was big enough and grown enough to do. And I didn't worry about what could happen. Oh boy, if you jump off this boat, you could drown, and I could end in the water and swim. I could, there's a whole bunch of possible endings. Oh, one thing I want to tell y'all about 7. If you are planning if you got a story planned and a narrative all planned, and you dealing with a 7, you better come with an alternative ending, because they will fuck up your script. The 7 don't care about your ending. Don't give a shit about what you think or how you think something's gonna play out. You better have you better be ready for an alternative ending. They have a gift of detection. That goes with the investigation. I know this is probably true for most 7s that I know. Everything in your space, in your apartment, in your house, in your car, at your desk at work, you know where everything is at, and you know exactly everything you have, down to the paper clips, down to how many pills left in your bottle, down. I mean, that anal, you know the level of your bottle.
And I say everything.
Of everything, you know the level of everything, and
Everything.
you notice first off when somebody done been in your shit or done moved your shit or done something to your stuff. Even if they just picked it up and touched it and put it right back down, you know it. You know it. 7s also have the pretty skilled with their hands. They can be craftsmen and things of that nature. A lot of clerk typists got 7 strong, 7 energy. They're just really skilled, can do some amazing work with their hands, even on the spiritual realm. Have some amazing powers and gifts in their hands. They're very discriminating. And again, these words ain't good or bad, they just are. I picked discriminating, but picky is probably a better word. Selective. Okay, we can soften it up. Selective. They're normally very selective about mates in relationships. We got really strong wants and desires, and they normally got something going on with their stomachs or something, so they're very picky and selective about what they eat. Very fussy and picky about that. They tend to be thinkers and dreamers. They can get caught up in their heads and not even be aware of what is happening in their own surroundings. They can get that deep and that caught up in their thoughts and in their heads. Meditation and the occult, just what we just did, the meditation and what I am teaching you now, the occult, is something that all 7s just gravitate to in some way, shape, or form. Every 7 on the planet can read a astrological chart, whether they believe they can or not. All of them can do that. 7s walk around dignified, and some folks would say puffy and stuffed and puffed up and a little arrogant, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. I've told this story many times, and I'll tell it again. Even when I was smoking crack and homeless, I thought very highly of myself. And I was the best homeless crack smoker of the group. I was the top shelf dog. I'm serious. Dignity. I think really high of myself. It's not conceited. It's not anything of that nature. I think highly of myself, and you should think highly of yourself.
Absolutely.
They have charming manner and charming personalities. Be careful. Some 7s, most 7s have secret thoughts. Y'all would, I would probably shock and horrify others with some of the thoughts that I have that roll around in my head during a 24-hour period. Some of y'all probably would get on board with it. Some of y'all would think, oh, he ain't spiritual at all. Yes, Victorious.
I have, I hate to say this out loud, but I have a very dark sense of humor. Yeah, I tend to probably watch things that are a little too dark for the average person.
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah, I just wanted to
Absolutely.
speak up.
Absolutely. I should have led with this, because this is really up there on the list for the 7. The 7 loves solitude.
Ooh, that's an understatement.
The 7 is the king and queen of I just don't want to be bothered. I just don't want to be, and the 7 is very good at letting you know that they don't want to be bothered. Very good. When the 7 is ready to go, 7 leaves. Don't care if you roll with him or not, he'll let you know. I used to do this all the time. Hey man, I'm getting ready to go. Oh man, we just got here. Well, I'm leaving. If you want to ride with me, you better come on now. If not, I don't know what to tell you. The bus come around here, or I don't know. Take your own car next time. That's why I drive my own car. Because when I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. 7 has shrewdness, very shrewd operators, because again, they think out everything. They plot and think and plot the course, and they got the getaway already planned out. The 7 is that smooth criminal. They move shrewdly. They hardly ever let folks know what they're really doing. They'll let you know a little bit, but they hardly ever, there's always a master plan, and they are going about that master plan very, very smoothly. Sometimes 7 get caught up in hidden or secret motives, especially if they are vibrating lowly or caught up in one of their many mind-altering proclivities. Because the 7's mind is so out there. Sometimes the 7 have to do whatever it can to arrest it. Normally, alcohol or a illicit or illusive narcotic, because of those, and that keeps those secret motives and those hidden agendas out of the way. So you got to trade one for the other with the 7. Again, when they low level, they can have too much pride, get boastful, get cocky, like a rooster stuck his chest out and just prance around the yard. Yeah, they have tremendous reserve and reservedness. They're very reserved. If you see the 7 going off on somebody, you might want to just turn around and go the other way, because you don't want to be a witness to what the 7 does. Because the 7 doesn't fight fair. The 7 fights so that the 7 wants to disable you, so he could turn or she could turn around and walk away. They don't want to be running. They don't have time to be boxing with you and getting a nicely tailored suits and shit all messed up. They don't want to get hit and face cut. So they're just going to disable you as fast as they can. And then they're going to turn around and walk away. So yeah, if you see a 7 going off,
so a karate chop to the neck.
Throat chop, back to the knee, hit you with a bat, bust you in the head at the club with a highball glass. That's some shit a 7 will do. Smash your head on the desk and knock you out in the library. Yeah, that happened.
I haven't taken it that far, but I will say this: there have been some times where I cannot believe some of the things that came out of my mouth.
Oh,
Like I didn't even know, like, my words, my tongue can cut that deep. I was like, wow.
Yeah. When the 7 cuss you out, you've been cussed out for real. For real. I mean, to where, look, when the 7 cuss you out, you're gonna think twice before you even say some shit to that person again. I'm serious. Ever. You gonna think twice before you might even, if you're coming down the hall this way, you might get across over here just because you don't even want to go through that no more. You know, because we're unrelenting. Once we get tipped over, don't come and tell us to calm down and quiet down. No, that's gonna make us go more. That's gonna make us go. You should have left me alone. You should have left me in the jar. You left my ass alone. Now I'm fixing to let everybody know I'm pissed. Everybody gonna know. Everybody gonna know. The 7 is often, yes, Jolene, you gotta unmute yourself.
We can't hear you.
Can't hear you. Log out and log back in, or unmute yourself. Yeah, the 7 is often misunderstood because they are the outcast, and they are comfortable being the outcast. I remember as a little kid going to Lincoln School, all the kids be playing around, and when I wasn't in my 3 shit, I was a 7. I was off all by myself exploring shit, and I was good. And all the kids thought I was, well, are you lonely? No, I ain't lonely. I just don't want to play with y'all today. Go ahead, y'all is good. So I was misunderstood. Always thought of as the quirk. No, I'm the black sheep of my family. Grew up in Central California, so I know I'm the black sheep, or one of the black sheep of the family. Always felt that nobody even wanted to take the time to get to know me. So the misunderstanding, the 7 will give you either one or two things. Either you're gonna get the sarcasm from the 7, or you're gonna get silence. And the silence is worse than the sarcasm, because the silence comes with that look, and you feel that vibration. It's a vibration like what's coming next, you don't even want to know. You don't even want to know. Jolene, did you fix your issue?
Y'all hear me now?
Yes, we hear you,
Oh,
Jolene.
I don't know what happened. Oh man, I missed that, because when I don't know why I always try to say I'm a fighter, because I am. And as soon as you said that, I got so excited, because the last time I got into a fight was like 10 years with my boyfriend. And I remember calling my mother, letting her know what's about to happen. So if anything happened, I was letting her know. And I was letting her know in front of him so he can get out my face.
Yeah.
He did not believe me.
No.
He did not believe.
I know he didn't. He learned that night though, didn't he? He learned that day, didn't he?
It's not nice. It is not nice.
It is what it is. It's not nice. It's not bad. It's not good. It's not evil. It just is what it is. It is what
Jolene, watch The Equalizer, because Denzel has this habit of like telling people how they're gonna kick their ass. Please watch The Equalizer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was in the Bronx, and these 2 girls came up to me, and she was thinking I was messing with her boyfriend. I said, before you get in conversation with me, go confirm with him. Right? I said, do not come over here, because I don't know who you talking about. But go back and make sure, because before you come to me, you're gonna deal with me. And so the boyfriend told, because he knew me, do not mess with me. And they never bothered me again. But I like that forecast.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Jolene.
Forecast.
The 7, you have something, Sharon, you wanted to add?
No, I'm just laughing out loud if she said it's a forecast of the asshole.
Yeah. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yeah.
Not a forecast.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
Absolutely. I remember.
So they can't say they didn't know. Then you have to let them know. So you can't say you didn't know.
Hey,
You did
I
know.
remember,
so whatever comes after that, you responsible.
You responsible. I gave you a warning, dog. Look, I remember as a kid, I don't know if I was in grade school or junior high school, something happened on the playground, and one of the boys said, yeah, man, I'm gonna kick your ass after school in front of the bus. And I socked his ass right there because I was like, hey, well, you shouldn't have told me what you was gonna do. And I ain't gonna be mad by the time school is out. I just handled that shit right there. I'm like, what? Oh, okay, yeah, no. The 7 is suspicious.
Ooh,
and what I mean by
that's an
suspicious,
understatement, honey.
I'm suspicious of everything. I don't
Everything.
accept shit at face value.
Damn.
I question everything.
Everything.
I don't believe none of it until I do some research, and then I can back it up with empirical data and maybe even experience it myself. Until then, I don't believe you. You got to prove
So y'all
it
not
to me.
the ones to eat at potlucks. Do y'all
That
eat at
part. Or
Oh, no.
buffets. Or
Oh,
buffets.
Unless we cooked it. No. Eat nothing that no. Look, I used to go to them. You know, we had those in the office where we'd have a office potluck. And yeah, no, I would judge it by how you kept your desk. If
That
your
part.
desk was funky and your coffee cup never got washed out, and you got potato chips up under there and they got to come every day, and you sloppy, yeah, no, I'm not eating nothing you cook. I really only trusted whatever the sister girls cooked. I'm serious.
Man,
I'm not trying none of that shit. None of it. I'm suspicious of everything. Everything.
The government,
The government.
the doctors,
I'm suspicious of the police. I'm everybody. I'm suspicious, man. I question everything. And I was a kid that was why? Well, why? Well, why? Yeah, I questioned everything. Didn't believe nothing. My grandmother told me nothing. The adults was telling me. I'm like, that just don't even make sense.
Can
And
I
if
say
it doesn't
something?
make sense to the 7, you lose them. Yes, Victorious, go ahead.
I can guarantee you most people that believe in conspiracies are definitely 7s.
Absolutely. 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 I know none of y'all have ever experienced this with me, but the 7s, not me, but the 7 can be unreasonable. I know none of y'all have never seen me get like that. Yeah, right. Shit. Sometimes, especially when they're not operating in their expansive self, the 7 does lack the power of self-expression, because the 7 really likes to be the person in the back. Yeah, y'all can be up front, get all the glory, get all the attention. I don't really even want to be seen, man. I'll just be back here. I'm the mastermind. I'm the one that's making everything happen, but y'all go ahead and get the glory. Go ahead. I don't need it. Just make sure I'm paid. Yes, Jolene.
I think that's halfway true, but because I'm an author, and when I write like I talk. So when people read my stuff, it's like they're talking to me. And so I get that front reaction when people read my book. And that's kind of weird for me. It's like looking at a TV and looking at what's going on. But it's amazing that how it happens.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks for that. 7 can be, I don't think there's such a thing as over anything, but can be over positive. I just kind of have the optimism and the knowing that whatever I need, want, and desire, if I don't already have it, it's en route. So that's why I'm always positive. Even in the middle of being sick a couple of weeks ago, I was positive. I was like, yeah, I'm positive that this is going to end. I knew I wasn't going to be sick forever. I always look for the positive. Glass is always half full for me. And again, I don't believe in being able to overanalyze, although you can get stuck. The 7 can get stuck in the minutia of numbers and patterns and cycles, and can just start looping themselves. Like, you'd be watching a movie streaming and it starts to buffer. Yeah, the 7 will do that if they start analyzing too much and get caught in their head. And I know none of y'all have ever experienced me being argumentative. No, I couldn't just be, not me, cynical, there is a fury, fire, temper in every 7. It's boiling most of the time. When we get older, it comes down to a simmer, but it's a fury, fire, temper in every 7. Yes, Victorious.
I don't know if I should say this, but I'm gonna say this because we kind of discussed this a little bit earlier. But like, 7s are kind of like assholes.
Very much so. Very much so. Very much so. I own my assholeness. Yes,
Yeah,
Me too.
yeah, I own it. I own it. Yep. It be on full display sometimes too, boy.
And I noticed that anger that you was just talking about, like I noticed that more, like, because I don't really speak on, like, when I get upset about stuff, I'll keep it inside, like I'll just hold it in. Like that silence you was talking about, that's me all the way.
Absolutely.
But like I'm boiling inside, like I'm livid. And if you push me, like if you continue to push me, I'm gonna flip on you. But I do my best not to get there. But I do.
And you don't want the 7 you don't want to let the genie out the bottle. I'm telling you, because can't nobody put that 7 back in the bottle. Man. You gotta wait till his ass or her ass go back in there. and the 7 is gonna tear some shit up.
Oh my God.
They're not nice. They just gonna tear the shit up so that y'all know, don't fuck with them again. Just leave them alone. Let them read the book. Just leave him over there reading the book. He ain't gonna bother nobody. Just leave him over there.
I kind of turned it around because I like to advocate. I like to, if I have to speak up. So I turned it around so I could be paid for my advocacy and speaking up. So if Absolutely. I feel that's a personal thing, I will speak up to whoever. Now I have the capacity and I have the authority to speak up, and people really listen and I get paid for it. So that's kind of a good.
Yeah, and that's how the majority of the 7s do their fighting, is through advocacy and through their spoken words and through getting behind causes. However, every 7 is always ready to end some shit. They're not gonna start nothing, but if shit walk up to them, shit don't pass. That's right. We stop it, right? It stops right here. Don't go no further. Yes, honeybee.
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Oh, okay.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
The 7.
Can I ask you a question? How do I indicate the yellow? Because people are talking and then the yellow. Do I indicate that so I won't?
No, it does it when you start talking.
I'm sorry.
It's in the thing. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't want to be rude. I don't want to be
all right.
An asshole. I don't want to be an asshole.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Be you. The 7 fights the perfectionist in themselves each and every day. So much so that the thought of not being perfect can sometimes paralyze the 7, where they just won't do shit. It's not absolutely perfect. They won't do it. So they get paralyzed, and their procrastination is not out of not wanting to do it. It's just that it's not perfect yet. It's not perfect.
That sounds about right.
The 7 is extremely independent, and they have capacity for great intelligence. They have the capacity. Not all of us do fall into that, but they have great capacity to absorb intelligence, and they love the best of shit. Look, if there's a shelf above top shelf, that's where the 7 shop at. They love the best of shit. However, they're gonna fight you on the price. I drive a hard bargain. Anybody got any comments about the keywords for the 7?
I had 2 more words to add.
Okay.
I think you might have said this one: private and and very mystique.
Very mysterious, paradoxical,
Yes.
Very secretive, private.
Okay, so you did hit that. All right, my
Yeah,
bad.
very, very, for really, really, really paradoxical. Because a
My
lot of times,
favorite,
go ahead,
sorry,
honeybee.
I was gonna say my favorite way to describe a seven is like the missing puzzle piece that you can't ever find.
Right.
That one, absolutely, absolutely.
Can I add one?
Yeah,
I like empowerment because once you realize and feel that empowerment, then you're not gonna want to get rid of it.
oh yeah,
I realized when I was around 30-ish, my empowerment, and it seems like it has not gone away.
absolutely, absolutely. Seven don't give back liberty and freedom, not for nothing. Yes, Saran.
I guess this is a question to all of the sevens. How was it growing up and like still remaining like a true seven and not having that quote like beat out of you like from society, your parents, and like how do you still be that person, your unique self, with so much right against you?
Can
Because
I
you
start? Oh,
to
go
give
ahead.
because to put that power is basically like you feeling like you're giving your power away to somebody else and you would rather have it for yourself. You don't ever want to give your power away to anything or anybody outside of yourself because they'll have the ability to control you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's where the fight comes because first of all, I'm gonna say what I want to say, and I don't want to be hit. So if you start hitting me, I'm gonna hit you back. Yeah, yeah. And you ain't gonna hit me for just saying what I want to say. That's just not happening. You're not just going to start hitting me. You come and sit down and explain some shit to me and talk to me about it. Maybe we can come to an understanding, but you just come swinging. Yeah, I'm gonna swing back. What?
It's really like you put in irrationality in check because you're not gonna say nothing that's coming from a place of being completely irrational. And if you are, you're okay with that correction. But if somebody come at me and I'm coming in peace and you trying to disturb that peace, you gonna see peace disturbed.
Yeah,
Period.
you're going to see peace disturbed. Yes, yeah. Like I said, we are the kings and queens of fucking up your script. You got to walk softly and away from a seven. Walk very softly and away. The colors, power colors for the seven: old rose, like a rust or a soft or dull red, purples, magenta, maroons, wine, grape, brick, and then pearl and any color of off-white, cream, French vanilla, anything that's just not just blatant white are tremendous, tremendous colors for the seven. Yet most sevens won't put on pearl or white because they don't want the attention. They have an issue. If I'm walking somewhere and you staring at me, I'm gonna stop and say, "What you staring at, dog? What's up? I got some shit on me or something. What's up?" So that's why we won't wear red a lot, and we won't wear pearl, even though we know that when we wear red, and especially I used to have this charcoal gray 3-piece suit, and I had this red and gray tie set and a shirt and a hat, and I knew I was the shit when I had that on. I just knew, but I just the red it does something to that seven. It takes you out of that reservedness. See, the seven loves being cool, calm, and collected, nothing out of place, no reaction. And that red and that purple and the wine and all of that, those colors, it brings the seven out more, brings the seven out more. Victorious, what kind of colors you got in your wardrobe for the seven? You got some bricks and some purples and some.
Did you say?
You got some bricks and purple and magentas in your wardrobe?
Bricks, purples. It's funny because I didn't wear a lot of purple. And one time my sister and I went shopping and she found this shirt for me. And I didn't wear the shirt for a long time. And then eventually I wore the shirt and it was like kind of a deep purple. And when I wore it, I had the most interesting experience. And every time I wore that shirt, I would just have these very powerful spiritual experiences.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every time I went on the job interview, I had a red shirt or a red tie on. Absolutely. Absolutely. Every time. Every time. Any questions? Any comments on the color?
I like earth tone colors. Is that maybe that's mellowing me down because there's earth tones, just soft earth tones.
Well, Lynn likes earth tones. Lynn is a 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Lynn likes earth tones. Yeah, she loves them. She loves them.
Well, that's where
Onto the spiritual code for the 7s. The 7 is an introverted number. The 7 has a divine inheritance in relation to inner knowledge, the law of creation, and the 7 is divinely governed by the law of attraction. Everything in the 7's life is divine, is ordered and governed by the divine law of attraction, even if they believe it or not. If they believe in it, it's even that much more prominent. But if the ones that are even totally unaware of the law of attraction, their lives are governed by the law of attraction. The 7 finds the soul in everything. 7 don't care about the fluff. 7 don't have time for your backstory. 7 don't need to see the credits at the beginning of the movie and the ads and all that. 7 is ready for the movie. Bam. And then at the end, you don't need to see none of that title shit. Just show me the movie and yeah. I just need to see the soul or something. I don't need to see the extras. None of the extra. We see the extras in it, but the 7 looks for the soul in everything. And the 7 is the lawgiver. 7 is the number of the law, and the 7 is the lawgiver. And the reason why I say that, because I'm going to run into, because I don't want to keep us here too long, but I'm going to run into the expansion, because the time when the 7 is expanding is when they are operating as a law unto themselves. I am my own law. I give 0 fucks about the penal codes and the federal codes and all of that. I live by my own moral code and law. Most of my moral code and law fits into the penal code and the regular laws here. When I come up against something that my moral code and inner law says is okay, and the law out here says isn't, then I turn into that shrewd, smooth criminal. Because I operate by my own law. I don't care what nobody else says. I live according to Mark's law, Pythagoras' law, and I don't care what nobody else says. And you're not going to budge me off of that. And you won't budge any other 7 off of that. The 7 expands when they are operating as a law unto themselves. You give your power away, 7, when you're complying and you shrink yourself into submission and you stop asking questions and you stop investigating. Start walking around like you the law, 7s, because you are. When they expand, when they are appraising, evaluating, or testing the worth of all activities on all planes. See, the 7 is the tester, and they gotta be appraising something, gotta be analyzing something. You work best when your mind is in appraisal, evaluation, testing mode. And you know, when I go out people watch, I'm not just looking at the people and like, I'm analyzing and I'm appraising and I'm making judgments and I'm making calculations and I'm looking at patterns, and I'm just not just sitting there like, oh, that was a nice dress. Oh, look at those shoes. No, I could care less about your dress and your shoes. I care less. Care less. It's deeper than that for me. The 7 expands when challenging every accepted fact and doesn't accept anything at face value. That's when you expand as a 7. When you just believe the okie doke, when you believe all them old stories, like my grandmother used to tell me some of the craziest stuff, and I knew better than to tell her I didn't believe her in front of her face, because then I'd have got popped. So I would just shake my head like this, and I'd be walking away talking about, that's some of the biggest lie I ever heard. The 7 expands when you're challenging every accepted fact. It doesn't mean that once you get to the truth, you don't come back and say, hey, yeah, this is the truth about this and this and that and that. And that's how you stand on the truth, because you don't accept anything that anybody says. You go out and do your own research. I research everything. I research everything. Most 7s research everything. They expand when deeply thinking.
My mom is, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Lemon. Go ahead.
My mom, she was born 12/7, and she taught me, because I would always ask her questions about stuff. So she taught me to find my own answers, and she taught me how to research. She taught me how to break down words. You look at the meaning of the word, and how to meditate and receive information and be relaxed. And it was like, as soon as she taught me that, it was like everything I wanted to know, I just was like, I could find out on my own.
Absolutely. The 7
That makes
is
so much sense hearing her say that, Lemons, because my grandma was 625. She was a July 7. So every time I would ask her, like, Grandma, what's this mean? She'd be like, go get a dictionary, look it up. Get an encyclopedia, look it up. Like, she would never answer my question, which is a 7.
Figure it out.
I say this, as a 7, my birth path, I had to learn how to find information myself, because my parents, still to this day, was never into any of the stuff that I was in. So I pretty much had to do the same thing women did, figure out how to research and answer my own questions. Because again, I was always that curious child that could never find anybody to answer my questions. So when I got old enough to find information on my own, it was like the world had opened up for me. And as even like a mentor or as a teacher too, it's like, I'm not interested in finding information for people. My biggest goal is to show you how to figure this out for yourself.
Absolutely. They expand when they are in deeply thinking and linking the known to the unknown, when they are in discovery, scientific, and or specialized mode, when spreading the knowledge that they have accumulated, and when seeking knowledge above all else, above money, above prestige, above fame, above, whatever it is, when seek knowledge, when the 7 is seeking knowledge and disregarding everything else, that's when they expand the most. Any comments, any questions?
Get that on the level.
So I have a question. How can we find that balance? Because I would like to get married and calm down. And how does that work? I mean, where would that compromise come from if I don't want to give up my...
You're gonna have to get an unconventional relationship.
What's the unconventional? What's that?
Married and in the house together. That ain't gonna work for you.
No? Oh. Okay.
Do you want to be bothered with somebody every day?
Not a 7.
You want to see the same person every day, every morning, every night?
Nope. I just
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Well, okay.
If you did, Jolene, you would be in a relationship now. No. You may not want to admit it on the call, but you don't want to be, you don't want to
be alone. You need to be alone. And that is something that you cannot get with another person unless they're the same exactly.
Unless they're the same. Only way to balance out, you got to get with another 7 that understands that from time to time, and I ain't feeling some type of way. I just don't want to be bothered.
I need another 7. I would need another 7. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So Jolene, I know you're feeling a certain way about that, but it's getting more and more popular where people actually enter into relationships and they live separately. Like a famous person that I know is Trevor Noah. He
Mhm.
explained it beautifully because he was like, we can coexist, but we also need to have our own separate living situations. And
Absolutely.
I really don't see anything wrong with it. It's beautiful if you really think about it.
It is. It really is.
Nobody is canceling each other out. Everybody gets to live their individual lives, their
Yeah.
purposes.
And you
and
come together when it's time. And y'all come
Yeah.
And
together
not
when
too
it's time.
attached.
You're
I
comfortable.
don't know. I would think that would be like a booty call or something.
You're gonna have to
See, that's
change.
what
That's
everybody
old
thinks.
paradigm thinking. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
old paradigm. Old paradigm.
Well,
It's
I'm
an
older.
old tradition way of thinking.
I'm
So
older.
So am I,
I mean,
but yeah, that's so old paradigm. Yeah, no, that ain't that. Yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening because you're gonna work at cross purposes of that desire to get married. Because before the whole thing go off, you're gonna do something and sabotage it. Because you're a 7. We don't want. Yeah, we not. Oh no.
I speak up. That's why
Yeah.
I speak up. That's the issue. That's the issue.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So Jolene, I'm sorry. So Jolene, just imagine somebody, you're in a relationship, y'all living together, and he's like, where you been? Where you going? Who you hanging out with? Like,
Let me
that's
see
gonna
your
be
phone.
so tired for a 7.
It's payday. Why you ain't home already? Look at that face. Y'all see that face? Ah, yeah.
You got to really think it through, Jolene. You got to really take account of who you actually are.
Yeah.
And then determine what's going to fit with it. It doesn't necessarily have to be a 7.
It doesn't, but you will have to sit down with someone and you will have to have a hot conversation, honest, open, and transparent. Put all of your needs, wants, and desires out on the table, and then y'all discuss it. I'm not saying that 7s don't have long and fruitful marriages and cohabitating houses together. They do. However, most of them, if a 7 is in the house with you, they got a spot that is off limits to everybody but them. Yes. They got their own spot. They have to have it. Or they go out in the garage, or they out in the backyard, or they sit out in their car on the driveway.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just got to find somebody who's going to respect your space.
Yes.
Respect your space.
That's all.
Because without that space, you turn into the person you kind of don't want to be. And you're going to end up pushing them away and pushing them out of your space. So they got to respect the way.
And the way we push people out, ain't no coming back. ain't no comeback. Because they might end up in the hospital or somewhere on a police blotter or something. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, when we end shit, it's over. Yeah, it's done. Really done. All right, let's move to the life, work, and purpose. The 7 can anything dealing with research, calculation, observation, and analysis. There any type of specialty field that deals with synthesis and analysis, they can be experts in that. Science, investigation, technical type of research, laboratory work and or statistical work, CPAs, accountants, bean counters, auditors, anything that's dealing with science or investigation or the technical type of mind, anything dealing with insurance and or mathematical lines of endeavor, money markets, mutual funds, financial planning. They know the ebbs and flows of the market and can see the trends. And in insurance, 7 will, if you got an insurance person, then they got 7, they'll get you the best deal with the most coverage for the least amount of money. They will. The law, talking about lawyer, paralegal, things of that nature, especially criminal law. The first real dream I had about what I wanted to be when I grew up, I did want to be a criminal defense attorney. That was the first thing I chose when it came to thinking about what did I really want to be when I grew up. Medicine, medical research, surgery, brain surgeon, specialist type of surgery, brain specialist, cosmetic surgery that's special, the cataracts and eye surgery and all of those special surgeries that deal with fine instruments and finely tuned instruments. 7 excels and has opportunity in that. Anything dealing with books, writing, selling, refurbishing, promoting, marketing, anything to do with literature, magazines, newspaper, any print media at all, and all forms of education, teachers aid, professors, college presidents, anything dealing with education. The 7 is right in line, and that's right in their wheelhouse. Police, a lot of folks with strong 7 energy go into the police force, into the military. 7 would be a great detective, a great criminalist, a great criminologist, Secret Service, FBI, CIA, any of them alphabet soup type of agencies. The 7 is built for that. Because they're stealthy, they can keep secrets. The 7 can keep your secret or tell it. It just depends on what side of the 7 that you're on. Again, I talked about the skill with the hands, clerk typist, the programming, the data engineers, the data miners, also wood carving, sculpting, etching, things of that nature, where you take a big rough piece of wood or a big rough piece of clay and you get it down to something. Again, most 7s are not really can't paint pictures, but take something really abstract and whittle it down into something that looks really nice. 7 is very good at that. And anything that deals with fine tools or something that needs to be fine tuned, or delicate instruments, anything that deals with delicate instruments and maintaining those delicate instruments, the 7 is very adept at that. And occult teaching, or the teaching like I'm doing now, secret societies and religion as a reformer. Not the 7 is not the one that's going to go in there and sit in there and just listen to that horse shit day after day after day and keep clapping. No, the 7, if the 7 is in religion, they are in there to bust that shit up and reform it. Any questions? Any questions on the life work and the purpose? Anybody want to add anything? I'm gonna run fast on to it. We've got about 5 minutes left. 5 minutes. Just stick with me. And interpersonally, even in a relationship, even in a group setting, even at the office, even at the picnic, even on the playground, no matter what, the 7 is a loner. They're a loner at heart, at the soul. Doesn't mean that they don't enjoy the group activity, that they won't come out and support your cause. Most of the time they'll come out, but they're going to want to be by themselves or with another 7. They don't like the fanfare. They don't like the loud shit. They don't like the coonery and buffoonery of what be going on. They can't stand it. They have very little patience for the failings of others. Very little patience, if at all. If at all. They can be the most charming gentleman / lady that you could ever meet. Very exclusive and reserved and selective. Very exclusive, very selective, very reserved interpersonally. This is not just with relationships, but with jobs, where they go to a restaurant to eat, what stores they go and shop in, where they even go get their gas. They won't cheat on the gas company. Wherever they get their gasoline for their car, they go there every time. Every time. They're not going to cheat on the gas company. Um, um, Even in the group, the seven can get distant. They're very kind, very helpful, and most sevens, we we don't know it a lot, but most sevens are admired for their accomplishments. We hardly ever get to hear that from somebody because we're always on to the next, always on to the next, and we don't care about that. We don't care about because we think if you start giving us compliments and you talking too good about something we did, you want something, and then you turn on that suspicion on us, and then we like, nope, cut you off, nope. In relationships, the seven is a perfectionist and always thinking or planning or sometimes even scheming how to make the relationship, and this is a seven term, more, better, perfect. The seven is always attempting to perfect whatever they are involved in. And they want to make it more, better, perfect, more, better, perfect. I will send it out when it's more, better, perfect. When it's more, better, perfect. Seven really doesn't mix well with others. Seven ain't the kid that play nice. Seven ain't, yeah. The seven really, if you invite the seven to a gathering and you just leave them alone, they'll come over to you when they want to talk, and when they don't, they'll get away from you. But they really don't mix well with others. They got very small circle of associates. Seven have a lot of people who consider the seven their friend. However, the seven has a very small circle, and the seven doesn't throw that word friend out lightly.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I have like less than 5 friends, like I say, probably less than 4, but that is
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The seven loses its power when it's forced into uncertainty or into chaos or into anything unstable. If it's forced into it, the seven loses its power. It'll just cower. It'll forget how powerful it is. It'll just walk away from how powerful it is when it's forced into uncertainty or a chaotic. Now, if it has the opportunity to survey the scene and it can read that shit is gonna get uncertain or chaotic, yeah, then you want the seven with you, because the seven is the one that will not let the plane get hijacked. Yeah, not with box cutters. You're not hijacking the plane with box cutters, and you got a seven on here. Yeah, dog, you're gonna need more than a box cutter. You really are. Most sevens are always poised. You can never catch them off guard. You can never catch a seven slipping. You will hardly ever, if never, catch a seven when they ain't at the top of their game. You just won't. A seven will stay their ass in seclusion until they're on top, until they're at the top of their game, until they're on their shit. You'll never catch them unpoised. Never catch them. Hardly ever have a hair out of place. When you see the seven, if you see the seven, the lines are sharp and slick. The creases are matched and up to date, and hardly ever anything out of place on the seven. The seven the seven builds a protective wall around itself, and very few ever get a chance to walk past that wall. Very few. Should you be one of the fortunate ones that gets in past the wall, you are a permanent piece of the circle. You're a permanent piece of the circle. And,
You know
and the
what?
seven will fight long and hard to keep you from walking outside of that wall. Yes, Jolene.
My clinical supervisor from Brooklyn, he became my friend because to this day, he's still out there in the Bronx, but I'm here. But that's like 20 something years ago. No, not that we're close. And we're still friends because he was able to touch upon something that really no one has ever even touched. And we were able to talk. So now he's like my captive. He's like, he ain't going anywhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Uh, uh, when the 7 has to answer the same question more than once or go over the same shit that's already been settled, the 7 will go silent on you. Just like this.
I had that conversation with my coworker the other day. He asked me the same question like 4 times. And the third time he asked me, he was like, "Did you hear what I said?" I said, "I heard you the first time. I already answered you." And then I walked away. He was like, "She get on my nerves."
I'm training a intern, a social work intern. She always forget. I gave her something to do today, and she said, "Oh, I didn't know I had to do that." But I trained you into what you're supposed to do. I'm like,
no patience for her failings. No patience. I get it. I get it. And then lastly, I wanted to end it on this. And the 7s on this call are all going to get this when I say it. The 7 don't want to be questioned or asked shit.
Please say it again for the people in the back.
Yell it.
Let me say it again.
I thought about this way too many times for you to ask me any questions. I've already covered every aspect, every angle, every response.
I just squeezed all the shit out of it. This is the meat.
This has been scientifically proven. Experiences and tests, and you will not question my answer.
You will not question me.
Unless you want to do it yourself.
That part. Say that again, Lemons. Say it again.
Unless you want to do it yourself.
That's that part right there.
Yeah, and the intern is going to be right there, and who's not going to want to sign her paperwork, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay?
The 7 don't want to be questioned about or asked shit, especially something they done or said or told you, and you coming back asking a question. Why'd I even say anything? Why the hell I even talk? If I explained it to you so that my grandbaby could understand it. You can't get it. Yeah, no. Yeah, the 7 does not appreciate having, especially don't appreciate having their intelligence questioned or their work ethic, or if they tell you something, you can best believe it's truth.
It's like I feel like my purpose in life is being questioned. Like,
yeah, yeah. You know, all numbers. All numbers, all signs can lie, but for the most part, 7 ain't gonna tell you no lie. 7 be brutally honest with you, even if it hurts you. 7 gives 0 fucks about that.
Okay, I want to play devil's advocate here.
Please do.
So, say a 7 is walking down the street or in some area with no mask, and someone confronts them.
Girl, please.
That's me every day.
We do not care.
Girl, please. I will tell you about the last time somebody came up to me at the ATM and I didn't have my mask on. Karen come out of the bank. She had her mask on. She started towards her car, which was away from the ATM, looked up and saw me without a mask and she turned, and I said, here she come. It was two sister girls that was in front of me, and they said, she been over here already. So that gave me all I needed right there. Oh, she been fucking with y'all already? Okay. She get about 3 feet from me, and she starts doing this, talking about you don't have a mask on. And I loudly said, well, you need to keep your ass 6 feet away from me then.
Get away from me. That's right. Yeah.
The fuck wrong with you? You vaccinated? You good. Get on away from me. You was walking to your car. She said, oh, and turned around and almost ran to her car. And I said, I don't give a fuck. Tell your story walking to the car. The two sister girls turned around and they just looked at me with endearment in their eyes. It was like, thank you, brother, because she was already over here fucking with us about it. I said, I'm outside, y'all. I'm outside. I'm outside. Get your ass away from me with that. That's what would happen if a 7 is walking around without a mask and somebody come up to him and start talking about, you don't have your mask on.
Yeah, I
Okay,
jumped
thanks for that
put it in my
clarity.
out my car and I kept driving. He got left on Mercury Drive where he needed to be. He got put out my car, out of my car.
Get
And I drove.
out. Yeah, you can get out. Absolutely.
I'll take
into
a mask, but it's going in my pocket. I'm not.
I went into when they dropped the mask mandate here in Nevada a couple months ago. I went into a restaurant, and the restaurant had a sign up, we would appreciate it if you would still wear your mask. I walked on in there and I'm standing there, and Becky taking the order, she looking up at me and like had this deer in the headlight look on her face. And I looked at her nice and calm, nice and peaceful, didn't get loud. I said, you want to ask me a question, don't you? And she said, yes. And I said, the question you want to ask me is, what would you like to order? Get your ass away from me about this damn mask, girl. Go somewhere. The people behind me fell out laughing. They were just, wow. I'm like, yeah, can I get, yeah. Don't leave a 7 alone. Leave the 7 alone. Leave them to their own devices. They're not going to bother you. They're not going to do nothing to you unless you walk up to them with some okie doke or some bullshit, and then you're going to get your hat brought to you. Because they don't have time to play. They're not playing. They're in between the 6 and the 8. They're in between service and expansion. So the 7 don't have time to play.
Well,
don't have time. That's why on the 7s, I'm going to let y'all know what this means, and then we're going to end. On the 7s literally means that I do everything on the 7s. When I go fill up my tank, I put either $34 or $43 or $52 in my tank, depending upon where the line is. The gas station that I go to is a 16.7. The place where I go get my sandwiches is a 16.7. Everything, I brush my teeth on the 7s. Instead of just 2 minutes, I do 124 seconds. That's 7. I gargle for 97 seconds. That's a 7. Everything I do is on the 7s. That's what on the 7s means. It means something else, and we'll get back into that when we get into those stories again. But that's what it literally means, that I don't move unless it's a 7. Anybody got anything they want to add to that or add to the show today? David, it's good to see your face, my brother. Absolutely.
Good to see y'all.
Good. I'm glad you're here.
I'm just vibing with y'all. Just vibing.
Absolutely. All right. Any of you 7s, y'all want to have a parting remark?
It's the facial expressions for me. It's
Absolutely.
facial expression.
Absolutely.
I just want to say shout out to 7 Energy. Both my children are 7s.
Yeah.
My parents.
I can see it on your son. I can see it on your son.
Yeah.
He's literally 7.
It's literally 7.
Yes.
marrying him, I knew I was gonna name him 7 in July.
Oh, wow.
7
Yeah.
people in the room. He was born at 7 p.m.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
When we left the football game, I didn't know I was in labor. I thought I was just having pain.
Right.
And brothers' football team, they was winning. They was 7 points up in their game.
See? Absolutely.
I admire
Absolutely.
y'all. Y'all do the things that everybody want to do, but just don't have the balls to do.
Absolutely. You
So
right.
kudos.
I do it live,
y'all.
and it's just life.
I
Yeah.
love y'all, man.
You right. You right. Victorious, you got a parting shot?
No, I think I said enough.
Okay, Jolene, how about you? You good?
Yeah, I just don't want to be, I don't want to sound like I'm so hard and inflexible. That's what I'm thinking because
You are hard and inflexible. It is what it is.
I'm gonna stop saying, oh, I have a history of fighting, which I do, but I'm gonna stop saying that and say, and give me that self accomplishment because I'm a social worker, I'm a licensed, I'm a writer, I'm an author. I have all these other beautiful things, but I get stuck on one thing, and I'm gonna stop practicing the other roles I have.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to be inflexible like that.
Once we get through 8 and 9, we're going to go into the double digit numbers, and then I'm going to show everyone how to balance out the energies in the numbers, in the letters in your name. I'll show you how to balance it out when we get into the double digit numbers. I had to give everybody the basics of 1 through 9 first, but when we get to 10 and start going up from there, then I'll show everybody how to balance out those energies in your name. All right. Well, this has been On the Sevens with Pi Frisbee Metatron. We talked about the number 7. I am thankful and grateful for everyone that has been here. We do come to On the Sevens with Pi Frisbee Metatron to awaken, ascend, and expand. We go through the 88 steps into your mastered self, and somewhere along your soul journey, if you keep coming back and keep studying and keep doing your work, your mastered self awaits you. I look forward to seeing each and every one of y'all again on here on Saturday. And I want to leave you with this. Goodbye for now. I couldn't say what I really wanted to say, so I had to cut it. Being a 7, I was going to say something really, really slick mouth, but then discretion sometimes is the better part of valor. So it was better left unsaid. I'll see you guys on Saturday.
All right,
Goodbye for now.
Peace, everybody.
Bye.